Ken, how do you sum that up? I mean, a dramatic finish, a massive week. How do you sum it up?
Footy's good. Footy's good. Does all sorts of things to you, sends you to all sorts of places, and ultimately you have to be willing to go to those places. And as a footy club this week and as a team, we had to go to some of those places and to come up here and play against a highly respectable opponent who we just have such admiration for in a hostile environment with not everything going that great for us for a fair bit of the game, to hang in there and get down 20 points twice. This team's got a fair bit of character.
Can you take us inside the week? I mean, it seemed like a really difficult week from the outside, but the response tonight across the games,
No, it wasn't a difficult week. It's a normal week in footy, but the difficulty with some weeks is there's a bit more commentary around winning and losing. That's the game. That's what we face, and that's just always been part of it. It's no different. I mean, scrutiny happens when you lose. You know, you leave yourself open. We didn't want to lose last week, but we did. But we're really grateful that we got a chance to come back up here tonight and play together and stick together and win.
And what did you see as the reason why you were able to turn it around? Because halfway through that final term, the game was getting away.
Yeah, as I said, twice we got down by 20, but there was a definite scoring end. There was clearly a scoring end out there, so we felt, you know, I won't say we were confident, but we were comfortable enough to know that we'd worked really hard for 3 quarters and we had an opportunity. And Sydney's credit, they were able to put a little gap in us twice, but as I said, to our boys' credit, they were able to respond each time. I felt like we were running over the ground really well and contesting really well and putting our head down hard and working really hard. But you have to do that for 4 quarters against this great club.
Yeah, there was a lot of crucial goals, crucial goals in that final term, but it was Jeremy Finlayson that kicked the match winner in the end. What does it mean for him to be the one that's, I guess, taking that moment?
No, Jeremy's been a really important part of our footy club for over a year now, and he's really fitted in well. He's got obviously some other stuff that goes on off the field, which are incredible struggles for him and Cal. So we're there and support him in that, but he's doing his best to support us everything he possibly can. And he's had surgery this year already. He's had a few things that have been pretty tough for him to handle, but you know, I didn't mind who kicked it. I'm just grateful that we kicked it, but I'm equally pleased it was Jeremy.
Can you give us an insight into how he manages to keep fronting up, though, with everything that's going on, performing like he did tonight, kicked 3 goals?
Yeah, it's a really tight, really incredibly close family. He's got really close family at our footy club as well. These families and our family join together, and we support their whole family, and he supports us, and that's how you get through. And that's why footy clubs are great environments for sometimes when things are not going your way.
Just on that last kick, you were sitting on the bench. Did you think it had gone through for a goal? What was your initial reaction?
The Sydney one?
The Sydney kick. Because he was celebrating at one point.
He went a bit early, didn't he? Look, honestly, I thought from the pocket he was kicking from, what the conditions had been like all night, he was going to be on his absolute limit as long as we defended the goal line really well. And we've done a lot of preparation for moments, and to defend the goal line really well was probably clearly critical, but I thought the kick was going to maybe struggle to make the distance. I did look quite quickly to see who had it, and I was glad it wasn't Budwa.
What was it about the conditions that meant there was one scoring end and that left you confident that...
Oh, the breeze. The breeze out there was quite strong. I don't know whether you don't get a chance to go out there, but it was quite blowy. And it was more challenging to use down this end of the ground. It was a bit more challenging to the breeze. If you've seen in our first quarter, we had balls holed up in that breeze, and then the other end we were able to get a bit more distance. So SCG gives you a chance.
He obviously had that last spoil on the goal line there, but I think he had 12 intercepts throughout the day, 8 1%ers. What do you make of his game across the night?
He likes playing at the SCG. Yeah, he's been fabulous for us. I mean, without being too silly. I mean, it's always a challenge for players playing against their old club. You know, got great friends here, but you know, it's a great opportunity for him to come up here and show that he's likes his new environment.
Your pressure across the day was incredible. I think you had 23 tackles inside forward 50. Is that something you guys work on or pride yourselves on keeping the opposition pinned in?
Yeah, of course, every club does, and we do too. But we spend some days it comes off really well, and some days it doesn't always come off well. And you get the positive reviews and you get the negative reviews. We're quite balanced. We know that we set out each week to play a tough brand of football, an exciting brand of football. And what I was most pleased about tonight, we defended proper. That's what I thought.
We don't see you coach from the boundary too often.
First time.
Yeah, what was behind that decision tonight?
I got kicked out of the box.
Really?
No, it was a moment in this week where we felt like, you know, we're working together and we're trying to stick together. And I'd done it in the pre-season, so I'd had an experience at it, and I've seen lots of good coaches do it. And I think, you know, the challenge is I can't quite see the game that well, but I thought there was a really important part of this week was to stick together. And I thought for me and the players to spend time together on the bench was pretty important. And they showed their support all week. I wanted to return the favour and show my support.
Is there something you might persevere with going forward?
I've been told I'm going to not let it go back up, so it's look, who knows? It's a difficult ground because the coach's box here is a really difficult box to watch out and view out of too, because you're sort of bending down looking under it sometimes, and Adelaide Oval gives me a fantastic view. I think I'm going to get pushed to be down there a little bit perhaps next week anyhow, so we'll see what happens. But let's review the whole game and not make any knee-jerk reactions to, because it's not one thing or the other that does that. It's a whole lot of work that goes into a successful win.
You said earlier on that a few things didn't quite go your way. One of those was the deliberate call, deliberate behind. What do you make of that call? Is there any?
Well, I think there's enough confusion around that call, because if the rule says you've got to be under pressure when a player's within a metre of you, a metre from the opposition goal line, I'm not sure what you determine as pressure, because it's, if the player lays off you or not. I've seen that happen 100 times and not be paid. So all I would say is it clearly needs a good look at and clarification to come to the clubs, and we'll be okay. And I always am very supportive around decisions, and I know how hard the game is to play.
You said it's hard. Do you think in that rule specifically they need to sort of remove the grey area and sort of help it be black and white to help that decision be made more clearly and consistent?
I don't know whether you can, because even in goal reviews tonight, it was a technical failure. There was a technical failure. That's why the goal review went against us early. It wasn't because we didn't have the capability to look at it, but from up top to downstairs, I think there was some sort of breakdown. So that's what I'm more worried about, things that we can control.
First time I've seen Dylan Williams in 18 months. First time I've seen him as a defender at this level. How did you assess him tonight?
I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure, because I haven't, I sat on the bench, so it's really hard to see the game. So normally I can give you a pretty good snapshot of what the game felt like, but I was pretty proud of him, because he's had to work bloody hard. He's had to hang in there, and he's showed an enormous amount of courage to. I think my first thought is he played pretty well, but again, I have to reserve my judgment a little bit. I don't want to get over the top emotional based on the result, because I'll look at the game properly after that and see how he went. But good on him.
You backed in a few young guys with Williams. McEntee kicked that late goal as well, and I guess that paid off for you tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm really, again, those two boys have been a part of our side before. So Jed's had some injury issues right through the summer, so he was not someone we'd liked out of the team for too long, because he brings an enormous amount of defensive pressure and he works really hard for his teammates a lot. And Meady's a great developing young mid. Look, I think in a lot of opportunities would come his way, but we've got some really young mids in front of him at the moment, so that's a challenge. So he has to come in and play forward mid more than mid forward. So, but every opportunity he gets, I can see him growing as an AFL player, and I think he's got a fantastic future.
And was it Junior Rioli that was?
Yeah, we subbed Junior out just to put freshness in the game.
Yeah, and how was Junior going, I guess, because he's had a quiet week last week.
Yeah, he's been. No, everyone has ups and downs, and Junior's hasn't played everything perfect. He had a big moment last week and kicked some good goals. Had some opportunities for us this year. We know he's going to get better as we go through the season, and he's learning lots about Port Adelaide and the way we like to play.
Yeah, just on tonight, what does it do? I mean, without overplaying, but 2-2 now. What does it do to sort of restart the season? What does we like this do?
Nothing. Sorry, I mean, I'm not nothing. It does a lot, because we need to take every win in this competition, because it's so hard. But we can't afford to overplay one week to the next, because I said last week we played. Look, the hard part about last week, we lost a showdown. We hate it. We hate losing showdowns. But we played a pretty good brand of football until within 6 or 8 minutes of the last quarter, and the Crows beat us. The game against Collingwood, we played poorly, but our other two games, we played high-quality opponents. I don't no doubting that we've played high-quality opponents in a tough competition. We're 2-2. We're breaking even at the moment. We know there's a long way to go, and that's why I said earlier, even in my presser before the game, let's not overreact to round 3. All right? Thank you.